Hey everybody, Dave here, Hidden Freedom, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to go through all the dividends received for January for this $1.6 million growth portfolio. Let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, we're going to go a little bit of recap here because I realize that there's new people coming into the channel all the time. So right now, as it stands, I have two positions in this portfolio, JEPI. And there's over 1,306 shares in JEPI, which generates roughly about $5,000 annual in dividends. It's about $73,000 invested into JEPI. And for anybody that's invested in JEPI, JEPI just released their dividends announcement for February, and it looks like it's going to be roughly about 30 cents. So that's pretty low. Looking at all of the other numbers for JEPI, for all of 2023, this is really low. So it is what it is. We'll see how it is going forward. But next position here is SPY, and I have over 3,093 shares of SPY. $1.51 million into SPY. Generates roughly about $20,139 annually. So those are the two positions I have in my portfolio. All this other stuff in here is stuff that I used to invest in, and recently, last year, got out of a lot of the individual stocks, got out of SCHD, got out of Devo. I actually am invested in VU. That's just a HSA account way over here. So I am invested into VU in that HSA account. So there's $24,000 in the HSA account. I forgot about that position. So all right, moving on here. Let's look at the dividends received. So these are the two dividends I received here. I realize that this is super small, but maybe I can actually zoom it in on post-editing or editing. So SPY I received over $38.80, and then for JEPI I received over $767. So both of these dividends, even though they're showing January, they're actually for prior year, so they're actually for 2023. So, but, I kind of count them for this January in 2024, and then next year it'll be the same thing. So when I got the January dividend there in 2023, that was actually for 2022. It's exactly the same thing there. So right now that brings the total over to $46.47 annually. And if we just look here at the dividend charts, we can see 46.47 there so far. And, obviously the JEPI will be getting paid out monthly, roughly about anywhere from $300 to $500 a month. And then the SPY will be quarterly. So I won't receive another one until April. And actually, if you actually look at the $1.5 million in there, if you calculate that out, 1.13 and times it by, I think the current dividend yield is like 1.35 or somewhere around there. That's 20,425. So we're very close there of the generated amount. But I'm actually going to receive slightly less than that this year, just because I had some covered calls that I ended up either getting the shares taken away, and then I missed the the dividend date for that Solo 401k account there. So if we scroll over and look at the Solo 401k account right here, I just was out of those shares just the one day prior to actually receiving the dividend. So I didn't receive but like $30 or $40 for the payout for January. So so the numbers are going to be off slightly a little bit. They're not going to match that exactly. Go in here, look at the dividend charts here. Well, if I can skip on the right thing here. So 2019 there was the year that I started building the dividend portfolio. This is just a recap, okay, to talk about for all the new folks that had joined the channel, didn't watch some of the older videos. 2020, I still did building the dividend portfolio out, continued to build it out during the pandemic there. 2021, good pandemic year there with the bear virus, over $25,000 received in 2021. 2022 was my biggest year yet of over $62,000. I ended up quitting work and went and hiked the Appalachian Trail for 6 months. And I was living off I technically wasn't living off those dividends. All those got reinvested back into the portfolio. But I had plans on living off of those. I never did, though. And then 2023 started reducing the dividend portfolio and still received over $43,000 in dividends in 2023. And then this year we're projected to be roughly about $25,000 of dividend income for 2024. This is a growth portfolio. Right now I'm up over $138,000 in this portfolio. And had I just been invested into JEPI, I wouldn't be up that much, right? So that is part of the key there of growing this portfolio. Yeah, it's a growth portfolio, but I'm still receiving a decent amount of dividends from it, which all get reinvested back into the portfolio. If you have enjoyed watching my content, I would highly appreciate if you can like and subscribe and set that bell notification. This year alone, for year to date for 2024 so far, we're already up 3.44% just for January alone. So that is pretty crazy. The NASDAQ is up over 4%, and that's just a continuation from the last quarter of 2023. I don't really know where the market's going to go this year. You know, a lot of people are still thinking there's going to be a recession and all that, but I'm just going to stay invested. I'm still building a cash reserve in my options account, which is over here. So still $250,000 over here in this options account, which I got some bonds over here and whatnot, but receiving still about $12,000 in interest income in this account, still why I actually trade options. So right now I think I'm up over $400 in options just for January. I'm not really aggressive in this account, but I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what I do with this account. And some of that cash, if we ever had to pull back in the market, I might actually deploy that into the growth portfolio here. So I might have put another $150,000 to work if we had another 20 to 40% pullback in the market. Because I actually think, maybe we'll get a pullback prior to them cutting the interest rates. But if they, I don't really know. If they do, if the market does pull back, and before they cut interest rates, then I might actually invest some more money into the portfolio in anticipation of them cutting rates. And then once the rates get cut, hopefully we'll be on the other side of a recession, and I can ride that up. And we're still at a 10-2 split there on the treasuries of 0.33. So the yield curve is still inverted at this point. And, until they cut the rates on the short end, it's not going to actually uninvert. So I don't know when the next, it's probably in March, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I think the next decision is going to be actually in March. So that's the plan for me anyway. Right now, I do have covered calls on all of my accounts. So I have covered calls on all three accounts there. I have covered calls against my brokerage account, about $495 for the SPY. And then over here on the Soul 401k, I think I'm at $492 or $488. One of these accounts is $488 and one's $492. And they're already being tested because SPY is already up at $491. So I don't really care about those other two accounts, but I am concerned mostly for this brokerage account over here at $495, just because I don't want to realize the $74,000 here. So I'll probably end up rolling those out because I actually think the market's going to get stuck at 5,000 on the SPY. Not really the SPY, but you know what I mean, right? So if we go look over here, the S&P 500 at 5,000, it'll probably get stuck. SPY will probably get stuck at 500. So that's the plan for me. I'll roll those out. I think I still collected over $4,000 in those options. I have another week to 2 weeks left on those. And I think some of them actually are out to the 23rd. And then I think I maybe have a set out to the beginning of March as well. But obviously, I'm mostly concerned about those ones in the brokerage account. So if you have any questions about anything I've talked about in this video, please let me know down in the comments below. And I appreciate you watching, and happy 2024. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.